Let's talk about what's going on in Detroit. After sitting out all last season, Joe Johnson revitalized his career through the Big Three, and he's now fighting for the 15th and final roster spot with the Pistons. He told our Eric Woodyard, quote, "It's been fun for me, but I haven't had a break in the last 6 months. But it's been fun. The process has been amazing for me, and I'm just thankful for the opportunity." So what do you think, Richard? Will ISO Joe be able to transition back from the Big Three back into the NBA?
This is the thing. I don't think it's a matter of him transitioning. I think it's a matter of what Detroit wants, right? He has proven that he can help them win games, that he can help an NBA team win games. He's done it. He's healthy now. He was a little banged up his last year in Utah, but I really think if he's out there at 38 years old trying to battle for the last 15 spot, if he's out there trying to prove things in training camp, that's not where Joe Johnson's going to prove himself.
Right.
Joe Johnson's going to prove himself in game 60, in game 25, where he goes for 18 off the bench or 15 off the bench. In a postseason where, you saw that you needed veteran help and you needed help, that's where he can prove himself. If you're trying to get Joe Johnson to prove himself in training camp versus a 25-year-old kid from a G League, that's not where he's at his best. And I think Detroit would be doing him a disservice if they made him prove himself. He needs to be resting his bones right now and just like playing a little bit, getting acclimated, and then it's like, hey, Joe, we're going to have you on this roster because we like what you bring, but you don't need to prove yourself right now, or else he would be dead by game 25.
And he's a situational player, right? This isn't a guy who's going to, if he makes the roster, play 30 minutes for you every night, right? What Richard is saying is very situational. We're coming into a playoff scenario where you need someone to make shots. We look at his last two stops before Houston, Utah, Miami. He excelled playing a four pretty much, a four-man who could shoot the ball, who could pass a little bit. That's a very specific role given where he is. So that's not something that's going to pop out in a training camp situation. That's something, a game, and particularly an important game situation.
Yeah, if any coach or GM is like, hey, we want to see what Joe can do.
Right. Where have you been recently or the last 20 years? But that's kind of, I completely agree with you, especially if you're a team like Detroit. What do you have to lose, right? Just say, great, he's made the roster, he's there, we're going to try the Joe Johnson experiment. Let's say halfway through the season you decide it doesn't work. Okay. Then,
well, you have two basic all-stars on your team, right? You got two all-stars. They need help. You saw that very, very, it's very, very evident in that, obviously there was injuries in the playoffs. And so it's like, we need a veteran guy here that maybe for 30 games he helps us win, 5 of them. And maybe in the postseason, when we need some help, he can hit a big shot for us. But to say that, Joe, training camp, you need to come out here and really outrun these 25-year-olds, there's no chance.
There you go. I mean, it's not like they have the other choice. It's either Kristaps Porzingis or Cap Room and 2 picks.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For highlights and analysis, check out the ESPN app. And for live streaming and premium content, check out ESPN+.